In recent years, extreme temperatures have been pushing us further and further away from our usual climatic conditions. In May 2023, temperature anomalies swept the regions of South and East Asia. According to the Meteorological Department of India, Delhi recorded its coldest May in 36 years. While heat waves, which are usually very common this month, affected only some parts of the capital for a short period of time. In addition to the unusual temperatures, the city received record rainfall of 111 millimeters, which is considerably higher than the long-term average for the same period. Local people state that such weather conditions had not previously been observed in May. In China, the last month of spring also brought unpleasant surprises to residents of many regions of the country. This period is usually cloudy and rainy in the southern regions and dry and sunny in the northern regions, but now it's the opposite, and the weather situation is called extremely abnormal. Thus, in more than 60 cities and counties in the southern province of Guangdong, local records of the highest temperature in the history of May were broken. The combination of extremely low precipitation and high temperatures by late spring contributed to the fact that a large area of south of the country was in a zone of high and extreme drought. While in Japan, last spring was the warmest since the beginning of climate statistics in the country. According to the Japan Meteorological Agency, the average temperature from March to May was by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius higher than the average for the same 3-month period over the past 30 years. The Southern Hemisphere was not spared from extreme temperatures either. Unusual cold weather hit Australia in May. More than 100 weather stations reported record lows. Local media wrote that climate has seen significant changes in its patterns. Northern regions, including tropical Queensland, experienced unusual frosts, and the southern experienced severe snowfalls. Across most of the country, average monthly temperatures were below the long-term average. Thus, in Brisbane, May was the coldest in 29 years, while in Sydney, in 53 years. Nights were particularly cold. In some areas, minimum temperatures fell from 5 to 10 degrees Celsius below average. How does abnormally cold weather fit in with the theory of global warming? Should it just be considered as a climate surprise? According to the Australian National University, the number of annual frost days has increased in some parts of the country. On the East Coast, there is an earlier start and later end of the frost period. Frost damage cost the Australian grain industry at least $400 million annually. But the point is not just the material damage. Reliable information about climate change is essential for farmers, investors, and all people, because our lives and the future of the planet depend on it.
The questions to be or not to be, will we succeed or not, are more relevant than ever in view of the escalating climate change. We as humanity are at a critical milestone. You will ask why? We will return to this later. And now follows a brief overview of the consequences of abnormal precipitation in just 2 days in several countries of the Eurasian continent. On June 3, 2023, the summer landscape instantly changed to winter weather in the northern regions of Greece. Heavy rain with hail turned city streets into icy rivers, flooding not only basements, but also the first floors of buildings. But still, the farmers experienced the greatest despair, because the hail caused irreparable damage to the crops of corn, cotton, grapes, and olives. On the same day, continuous downpours during the day led to flooding in the Turkish capital, Ankara. The first floors of buildings were flooded. Because of the overflowing sewers, mice and rats filled parts of the city. On June 4th, in the east of the European part of Russia, a large hail destroyed part of the crop and damaged roofs of houses and greenhouses in the Perm Krai. Local residents report an unusual spiked shape of hailstones. This all happened at a time when there were floods in other regions of the country. The greatest flooding occurred in the Krasnodar and Stavropol regions. On June 3rd, the French region of Auvergne-Rhone-Alpes was hit by bad weather. The citizens of Lyon were shocked by the incredible strength of the storm. It raged for about 2 hours, almost without reducing the intensity. During this time, 83 millimeters of precipitation fell, which corresponds to the months and a half worth of rain. Storm activity was also observed in most of the south of France, as a result of which 50 departments had a yellow level of danger. It is also worth noting that unprecedented and deadly downpours hit other continents at the same time. Residents of some regions of Japan, China, Ecuador, and Haiti were badly affected. Imagine, all these disasters happened in just 2 days. And this is only a small part. Covering everything in one video is almost impossible. In conclusion, we return to the critical milestone, which was mentioned at the beginning. Our planet is beautiful. It would seem, live and enjoy its splendor, keep and increase its wealth. However, for so many years, humankind has been inclined more toward destruction than creation. And now we are on the verge of a global catastrophe. What is happening to our common home, our Earth? What measures can we take to stop the worsening climate and other crises? Get detailed answers to these questions at the international online forum Global Crisis. There is a way out, and share the information, which you will learn, with other people. Our future depends on it.